Today we have to discuss the same chapter, fatalism, and the topic which we have to discuss is decentralization. Till now, students, we noted that federal government have two or more levels of government. So till now, we have discussed that two levels of government is there in our country. But a vast country like India cannot be run only through two levels, that is the central government and the state government. Now, why this is so? Because states in our country, in India, are as large as some of the independent countries in the Europe. Like in terms of population, if we see, the Uttar Pradesh is bigger than Russia, and similarly, if we see Maharashtra, it is about as big as Germany, and moreover, many states they are internally very diverse also. So there is a need for power sharing within these states. So India needs another level of government below that of the state government. So this is the rationale for the decentralization of power in India. So this resulted in the third level of government called local government. So let's now define the decentralization. So let's define the decentralization now. What is the meaning of decentralization? When power is taken away from the central and the state government, it is called decentralization. So the power is taken away from the central and the state government, it is called decentralization. So this power is taken away from the centralized source and it is diluted to the lower level. So it is diluted to the lower level, that is the third level, that is the local level. So decentralization, when power is taken away from the central and the state government, that is called decentralization. And when power is taken from the centralized source and given to the lower level, diluted to the lower level, then this is called decentralization. Now, the rationale behind the decentralization, the objective and aim behind the decentralization. Why we went for decentralization? What was the objective? So the objective was because the large number of problems and issues are there which are best settled at the local level. So the local leaders of that area, they are more aware of the problems and they should give solution to all the local problems. So many problems are there, issues are there in day-to-day governance of the area which are best settled at the local level. So that is why there is a need that more and more power should be given to the local level also, so that they can deal with their problems efficiently at their level only. Then another rationale can be, another objective can be, people have better knowledge of the problems in their localities. So the people have, the local area people, they are more aware of what are the problems, what are their needs. They are more aware of their locality, and so they can take the solution in a better way rather than the person who is sitting at the central level or the state level. They might not be aware of the problems the local area people they are facing. So the local area people, they can manage their resources and problems more efficiently than any other level can manage those problems. Then as the local people have better ideas on where to spend money. So what are their needs? How to manage things more efficiently? They are better aware. What are their needs? Whether in their area the need is of library or school or any dispensary or any electrification is required, or water problem is there, sanitation problem is there. So the local people, they have a better ideas on where to spend money and how to manage things more efficiently rather than again the person who is sitting at the center or the state level. So they can manage their things more efficiently. Then at the local level, it is possible for the people to directly participate in the decision making. So it promotes the decision making. The people can participate more at the local level without any hesitation. They can approach their local area leaders and then they can participate in the decision making. So this helps to develop a habit of democratic participation. So more and more participation will be induced by giving the powers to the local people. So we have defined earlier the decentralization. We have seen the definition of decentralization, that is when power is taken away from the central government and the state government and it is diluted downward to the lower level, to the local level. So this is called decentralization. So I told you why the need was felt for the vast country like India. So as to people, the local area people, they can manage their problems and resources efficiently. So empowering the local area people was very much essential if we see the vast diversity and the vast population in the vast area like in our country. So we have seen earlier the objectives and the rationale behind the decentralization. Now we have to see the need for decentralization. What is the need? So many attempts have been made to decentralize power to the level of villages and towns. So earlier so many attempts have been made to decentralize the power, to empower the villages and the towns. So panchayats in the villages and the municipalities in the urban areas, they were set up in all the states so as to decentralize. So but these were directly under the control of the state government at that time. Okay, at that time these were, so this I'm talking about before 1992. So these were the scenario at that time. So these panchayats and municipalities, they were under the control of the state government directly, and moreover whenever elections were held, they were not conducted regularly. So these local governments were not held regularly. Elections also, no regular elections were there, and these local bodies, they were under the control of the state government. And local government did not have any power, any sources of revenue. So any resources, nothing was there to these local government. Means these many powers were not there in the hands of the local government before 1992. So there was very little, we can say, decentralization. Very little decentralization was there before 1992. So now we have to see the major steps taken towards decentralization in 1992. That what steps, what amendments we have made for decentralization in 1992. What constitutional provisions we have made for decentralization in 1992. So the first, it is now the constitutionally mandatory to hold regular elections to the local government bodies. So now both for the local and the urban level government. So in 1992 the constitutional amendment was made, and it was made mandatory to hold elections to the local government bodies, and it should be regular features, so that more consistency and accountability should be there. So now it is mandatory to hold regular elections to the government local government bodies, both in the local and the rural and the urban area. So for this both it was made mandatory in the rural and the urban areas. Then second, the seats are reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other OBC. So seats are also reserved in elections and government positions. So this will lead to more representation of these marginalized communities at the local level. Then after that, at least 1/3 of all the positions are reserved for women. So the 1/3 positions are reserved for women, like we have seen in certain villages. The sarpanch seat is reserved for women. Okay, so some relief for the women candidates also, at least here at the local level. Then after that, the next point is the Independent State Election Commission. The Independent State Election Commission has been created in each state to conduct panchayat and municipal elections. So the independent body is created at the state level to conduct free and fair regular elections to local bodies, so that more transparency can come in elections. Then the next is the state government are required to share some of their powers and revenue to these local government bodies. So it was made mandatory for the state government that they should share some of their powers and revenue with local government. So this nature of sharing, it varies from state to state. Like in Kerala, the more power is diluted to the local bodies. So this is how these steps were taken towards decentralization. That is, elections were made regular, okay, and then the seats were reserved, and 1/3 of seats reserved for the women. Independent State Election Commission was created, and then state government, they were required to share some of their powers and revenue with the local government bodies. So now let's discuss the difference between local government before and after the constitutional amendment of 1992. So let's see the local government before 1992 and what was the scenario of the local government after 1992. So the local government before 1992 were directly under the control of the state government. So directly they were controlled by the state government. But after the amendments, the local government, they got some powers of their own. Okay, so this is the main difference. Then after that, before 1992, elections were not held regularly. Please keep in mind, not held regularly. After that, the elections were held regularly. Okay, after that it was made mandatory to hold the elections regularly to the panchayats in the villages and municipalities in the urban areas. Then elections were controlled by the state government. So earlier, before the amendments in 1992, the elections were controlled by the state government. But after the amendments, independent body was established, that is Independent State Election Commission was established, which was responsible to conduct these elections to the local government bodies in the rural and the urban areas. So these were the differences which we have seen in the local government before 1992 and after 1992, that before they were directly under the control of the state government, but after amendments they got their some powers, and elections earlier were not conducted regularly, but after the regular elections were conducted, mandatory elections were conducted, and elections were under the control of the state government earlier, but after that the Independent Election Commission was established to conduct the elections.